Welcome back to LPS Gaming, I'm Leo. If the top 8 list was about the hype, this video is about the brainpower. January 2026 wasn't just busy, it was a tactical battlefield. We saw the return of hardcore grand strategy with Terra Invicta, cozy yet complex puzzles and craftlings, and the absolute chaos of BOGO Spinted. Whether you prefer managing intense geopolitical simulations or optimizing the perfect deck in one turn kill, this month delivered some serious depth, so grab your coffee and get ready to think. Here are the most interesting strategy games released in January. If Civilization feels too simple for you, Terra Invicta is the answer. This isn't just a 4X game. It is widely considered the most complex grand strategy simulation of the decade. Instead of controlling a country, you act as a shadow council influencing global geopolitics. You aren't just moving units. You are managing the industrialization of the entire solar system. The gameplay is split into two massive layers, manipulating Earth's nations for funding, and designing warships that obey realistic Newtonian physics to intercept alien threats. Hardcore strategists call this the ultimate spreadsheet simulator in the best way possible. The depth of the tech tree and ship design is unmatched. However, users warn that the learning curve is a vertical wall. It requires patience, as managing resource chains across planets can become overwhelming, and the game pace is deliberately slow. A true test of endurance for veteran commanders. Imagine playing Battlefield and Total War at the same time. That is the promise of Rising Front. You command infantry charges, cavalry squadrons, tank columns, and aerial bombardments across historically inspired battlefields. The unique hook is the dual perspective. Switch seamlessly between first-person combat in the trenches and top-down strategic command. Direct AI units to hold the line, call in artillery strikes, or grab a rifle and charge into no man's land yourself. Beyond World War I, the game includes Revolutionary War and Franco-Prussian War scenarios with line battles, plus full workshop support for custom content, including World War II mods. Community reception is sharply divided. Supporters love the epic-scale, action-packed scenarios and modding potential that expands the game far beyond its historical setting. Detractors, however, are vocal about fundamental issues. The AI is basic and predictable, scenarios feel throwaway with little strategic depth, and the UI is poorly designed. Multiple players specifically warn against expecting polish or depth beneath the flashy explosions and large unit counts. If you're seeking a sandbox for chaotic large-scale battles rather than tactical sophistication, this might scratch that itch. Otherwise, approach with caution. Dwarves, Glory, Death and Loot is an auto-battler roguelike where you build and command a party of up to 10 customizable dwarves. Your runs start small with just 2 poorly equipped beardlings, and through successful battles, you expand your warband into a full legion. The core gameplay revolves around pre-battle preparation. You shape each dwarf through gear and equipment into distinct roles: frontline tanks, damage dealers, or fragile mages needing protection. Before fights begin, you arrange formations and positions to counter specific enemy threats. Once battle starts, it plays out automatically, so victory depends entirely on your planning. Between encounters, you face choices: invest gold in better equipment, recruit new dwarves, or gain experience. Every decision pushes your run in different directions, and permadeath means not every path leads to survival. Unlock permanent upgrades with gems earned across runs. Players describe it as deceptively addictive with surprising strategic depth. Hidden team combinations, secret formations, and a decent upgrade tree provide long-term replayability despite simple core mechanics. The main complaint is technical issues. Graphical glitches and bugs that force you to restart the game. Still, most agree the satisfying one more battle loop outweighs the bugs for the budget price. BOGO Spinted is a 4-player online multiplayer game where aliens gather on the moon to play deadly tabletop games. The premise is simple. Players compete in various card-based party games, but losing means your character's head might inflate and explode. The game features multiple modes built around bluffing and risk. Players take turns playing cards while managing a shared total, or place cards face down and lie about their values. If someone suspects a bluff and calls Beeble Meep, either the liar or the accuser faces consequences. Special cards like Deadeye add chaos by letting players shoot each other, though it can backfire. The setting includes bizarre alien locations like bars, beaches, and lunar surfaces, all rendered in a darkly comedic art style that blends horror and humor. The atmosphere leans into absurdist alien humor that feels deliberately off-kilter. Players describe it as perfect for friend groups, creating memorable moments of betrayal and tension. The mechanics are straightforward enough to learn quickly, but provide enough depth for psychological gameplay. The community consensus points to strong value at the budget price point, with most agreeing it excels as a party game for generating chaotic moments. Oh, by the way, I'm also buying this game. Feed the Reactor is an idle clicker game centered around feeding fuel into a mysterious reactor. Players upgrade tools, unlock exotic elements, and discover combinations, while the reactor generates energy with hypnotic visual effects. The game includes a storyline that unfolds as you progress, eventually revealing the reactor's true purpose across multiple endings. The progression system uses prestige-style looping mechanics common to the genre. Players can restart with advantages to dig deeper into the mystery and unlock additional content. Community feedback highlights a clear divide. Critics note the progression feels shallow, with mechanics that seem underdeveloped and thrown in without deep exploration. The experience reaches its soft cap around level 50 in approximately 5 hours, which some feel is too brief for the asking price. Performance also degrades noticeably in late game. Supporters argue the defined endpoint is actually a feature rather than a flaw. Unlike endless idle games demanding weeks of commitment, this offers a complete narrative experience that respects player time. The story engages throughout, and the visual design maintains polish from start to finish. The debate ultimately centers on expectations, whether you want extensive replayability or a focused, story-driven idle game with a clear conclusion. One Turn Kill is a deck-building card battler with a unique constraint. You must defeat every enemy in a single turn or face immediate death. The game's defining mechanic inverts traditional card game logic by making card draws cost resources. Each turn provides limited card uses. Drawing from your deck depletes this resource, forcing players to balance the need for more options against resource exhaustion. Decks are capped at 20 cards, and success requires combining them into synergies powerful enough to eliminate threats before counterattacks occur. The gameplay demands precise execution with no room for error. Players calculate exact sequences needed for victory, creating sustained tension throughout each encounter. The pixel art presentation features smooth character animations that sync with card plays, accompanied by catchy background music. Players praise the core concept as well executed, with deck building that feels rewarding despite being less complex than genre heavyweights. The resource management around drawing creates a refreshing puzzle that hasn't been explored much elsewhere. The main limitation is scope. This plays more as a proof of concept than a full roguelike, concluding in a few hours with minimal roguelike elements. The highest difficulty level, Bias 20, required for the true ending, draws criticism for restricting viable strategies and feeling like an unfair damage check rather than a skillful challenge. Multiple players specifically express interest in a sequel that expands these foundations. For now, it stands as a brief but memorable experiment in card game design. Forest Hustle is a first-person incremental clicker game where your goal is to get rich by strip mining an entire forest. You start by manually chopping wood and mining stone, then scale up by building bases and hiring workers to automate resource gathering while working toward paying off a $100,000 debt. The game presents its idle mechanics in a 3D environment rather than traditional 2D menus. Upgrade tools and buildings, unlock traders who offer deals you can accept or refuse for profit optimization, and eventually hire dogs as workers. The atmosphere is casual, with lo-fi music tracks playing throughout. The experience can be fully completed with all achievements in around 6 hours, possibly less with efficient strategies. Prestige mechanics exist, though only a single prestige run is required, specifically to unlock achievements for chopping and mining totals impossible in one playthrough. The 3D presentation stands out as a refreshing change for the incremental genre. Community sentiment is affectionate, with jokes about petting the dog workers until they become world-ending polygons of cuteness. Some express mild disappointment when reaching 100% completion, with at least one jokingly requesting a sequel. The general consensus treats this as a pleasant, compact incremental experience that delivers what it promises without overstaying its welcome. It's positioned as a chill game for unwinding rather than a long-term commitment. Craftlings is a resource management puzzle game blending Lemmings-style mechanics with city building and automation. You guide a cluster of small workers called craftlings as they gather resources and construct buildings to complete each level's unique challenge. Gameplay revolves around assigning tasks and switching craftling professions dynamically. Workers can become lumberjacks, stonemasons, miners, warriors, and more depending on immediate needs. You shape the environment by directing construction, optimizing production chains, and upgrading your town hall to unlock new possibilities. Levels spread across distinct biomes, each with unique vegetation, buildings, and specific objectives. Strategic elements include blasting through terrain to find additional resources and managing risks as dangers lurk beyond your settlement borders. The presentation uses modern pixel art that pays homage to 90s strategy games, accompanied by a soothing score designed for relaxed play. Those who grew up with Lemmings and the Settlers describe this as pure nostalgia executed well. However, several clarify it's only superficially similar to those classics. With direct control over craftings, unlimited response, and pause and command functionality, this plays more as a relaxed optimization puzzle than the timing and budget challenges of Lemmings. Automation exists but serves as a supporting element rather than the core focus. Community feedback emphasizes the surprising uniqueness beneath familiar inspirations. Levels run longer than expected, providing solid value. While some micromanagement friction exists, figuring out solutions is framed as part of the puzzle. The passion evident in the project shows through, with the game loop described as fun and non-punishing. And that wraps up January's strategy lineup. All games are linked down in the description if anything caught your attention. If this video helped you discover something new, drop a like and consider subscribing. We'll be covering February's releases as they drop. Next up, we are digging into the best RPGs, so keep your eyes peeled.